I want to talk about the Jason Palmer, the one from the Champaign Meijer. This is like the whole video about Champaign Meijer, how I get fired. Jason Palmer, action. How Jason treated me. How did he discriminate me in 3 cases? Case 1 for rude complaint. Case 2 for improper test at the garden center as a cleaning crew, employee, and removal of the weed as a weed removal services. And case 3 for an official role of the general merchandise employee instead of the garden section employee at general merchandise. Professional point of view. Case 1. Everybody in USA know that Africans who live in US had inferiority by arguing with the American and Chinese that they discriminated African. That's when Victoria, another department manager, cashier manager, African cashier manager, talked to me face to face that I was rude. I did not feel surprised for that one. When I got rolled up by the Jason and Christy is my department, my manager. I already know that I got discriminated by male practice of the American manager, Jason and Christy, to do their bias for African employee at work. Everybody in Champaign, Illinois, know that African customer went into the Champaign Public Library and argued with the checkout counter American lady that American lady discriminated the African customer. And case 2. As a professional point of view, Jason should not ask his employee to sweep the garden floor as a cleaning crew employee and removal of the weed as a weed removal services crew. Even I did only work for the garden center as a garden center employee. Case 3. I got hired to work for the garden center as an employee and floor cashier at the garden center when needed. Not even backup cashier at the front register. Moreover, he should not put me for doing return product to put onto the shelf in the morning shift and conditioning in the evening shift. The way he gave me 2 different roles for morning shift and evening shift represented that he treated me as a runner instead of the garden center employee at their job. So reaction for case 1. Carrie wrote on the Jason, my boss wrote up she that please understand me because I'm Chinese. Case 2. I directly told Christy that it was a cleaning crew job, not my job. And Jason told me that I needed to do what nothing else to do. Case 3. I talked to Christy that instead of putting me in the garden center, please let me work on the return product as a return product employee because I'm really good at that one. And then Christy agreed to put me for doing the return product. I did not fight with the evening shift for doing conditioning according to the store ran a system. Morning shift was for return product employee and evening shift was for the conditioning employee. If they give me an excuse that it was how the store ran the system, they should decide on the one shift for Kelly and they put the Kelly either in the morning shift or evening shift. Or let Kelly decide which shift I want to choose. So this is all about how Jason discriminated me and right up. And the second person, Christy Ginn. She was my manager when I was in the garden center employee, and then she also became like my manager when I transferred to the fashion department. Actually, I saw her discrimination that she wanted to put me into the runner, in other words, slave position instead of the minimum pay employee. For case 1, general merchandise department. By getting road carried up by the Jason and Christy for rude complaint. I also got discriminated by the male practice of the American manager, Christy, at the fashion department because of the case 2 and case 3 too. Case 2 at the fashion department. By forcing me to break down the pallet as a receiving employee by covering up with the excuse of the teamwork. Even I did not work for the fashion clothing. Case 3, fashion department. By cutting my hour by covering up with a decrease or no sale at the Champaign Meijer or fashion department. Professional point of view. Case 1. Everyone in the US know that Africans who live in the US had an inferiority by arguing with me that American and Chinese that they discriminated to the African. That's when I talked to when Victoria, another department African manager, talked to me face to face that I was rude. And I did not feel surprised for that one. When Kelly rolled up by the Jason and Christie, I already know that Kelly got discriminated by male practice of the American manager, Jason and Christie, to do bias for African employee at work. Case 2. As a professional point of view, it was an excuse for saying teamwork. When they needed help from me, they put me to do the hard work, but when they needed to give me salary, they said we are out of budget because of the decree says. It was mistreating Kelly as a slave instead of the minimum pay employee. If it was a teamwork, first I need to break down the pallet with a coworker at the back and stock on the safe floor. My position was baby stocker position except clothing. It was very obvious that they misused the work of the teamwork. The second, when I did for the checking invoices with the product, she said it was a waste of time and take out the job. Do not check the invoice with the product. As a professional point of view, every employee knew that the stocker was lower than the inventory analysis. And it was very obvious that she took off the role of the IA from me. Because I was a stocker and I even shouldn't check in the invoice with the product. It is a part of the IA job. Why did I get that kind of part of the IA job or with my stocker position? I didn't know that one. But she took off my role. She took off that role because she saw that it was an easy job for Kelly. Check the invoice with the product on the floor was a fancy job and can sit on the floor. So she gave me to break down the pallet with a coworker at the back. So it began like she took off my IA job and she gave me the receiving job because she saw that it was a manual worker job for Kelly. It was a proof for me that Christy used an excuse of the teamwork for that one. She think like if I want to work for the IA, the higher position job, I should work for the lowest position job, receiving employee job. This is what she want me to do. So she took off the highest position job, like a little bit higher position job, IA job, and she gave me the lowest position job, receiving employee job. I did not have an access for the stocking, fashion clothing on the floor as a stocker. I only do for the baby section only. And also like they allow me to answer the even I don't have